Hello, this is Lavistro with Dragon Cyberspace, coming to you with all news, tips, and tricks within the gaming spectrum. And on Dragoncast last week, I believe Bo and I were discussing Lords of the Fallen. And yeah, that's what tonight's, obviously for the thumbnail, that's what today's, or this video's topic is. And we were just discussing about it. Now, normally, I am tired of Souls-like games. I'm tired of every game having to be Souls-like, every game having to be diff. It's like, bruh, there's other games, there's other ways to have hard bosses. Like that's just my issue, my spiel. I'm tired. It's like having roast beef every day, right? But you know, one thing I will say about Lords of the Fallen is, just like in my previous video where I discussed Bayonetta and Devil May Cry devs saying don't ignore gamers, Lords of the Fallen put players first. Okay, so it is kind of nice to hear that, but it's even nicer as that Parkbase reveals. Their player-first philosophy pays off big as Lords of the Fallen 2.0 surges past industry giants. 2-year-old game hits Steam top 10 global bestsellers list. And yes, I think that if you put your customers first, you should be rewarded for that. But let's get on to the context. In an industry increasingly defined by agenda-driven design and tone-deaf development, CI Games is breaking the mold, and is paying off in a big way. With the launch of version 2.0 on April 17th, Lords of the Fallen has achieved what few would have predicted: a stunning resurgence that's propelled the game into Steam's top 10 global bestsellers list 18 months after release. Originally launched in 2003 as a AA dark fantasy RPG, Lords of the Fallen saw a massive player spike in the last week, climbing from around 500 concurrent players to over 10,000 on Steam. The catalyst: a complete overhaul of the games based on player feedback, spearheaded by CI Games CEO Merit Tyminski. He cites 10K concurrent players 18 months after launch. Just a week ago, it was around 500. Tyminski goes on X. This means the world to us. Thank you to everyone who believed, supported, and stuck with us. We'll never stop showing up for you, always. That kind of consistency and responsiveness is rare in modern gaming, and gamers are rewarding it. And I want to segue from that real quick as a content creator, and pointing out as content creators, for example, there are people out there who get upset and wonder why they're not getting monetized. Like me right here, I'm not monetized, but or they grow it really big and then wonder why they're not getting more views as many views as they used to, right? You'll have your hardcore fans, right? But you won't have as many as you used to have. And it usually is because transparency. That's really what it is. If you're honest and transparent and do what you want, well, even with the algorithms going one way, people will find you, and people will realize how honest and transparent you are and gravitate towards that. It is honesty and transparency that really defines whether it be a content creator or a business. And for example, if you say you're a free speech platform and you censor people or censor certain things you don't like, despite the fact that a person can say this IRL or purchase that product IRL, consume that content IRL, are you really a free speech platform? You may think I'm talking about X or Rumble. No, I'm talking about it in general. It could be YouTube, it could be anything. That transparency only goes so far. If you're lying to your customers and they find out, then they might still have their account, or they might still subscribe, or they might have the game, but they won't play it. In this case, Lords of the Fallen here, the game Lords of the Fallen, people actually played the game. The devs decided to do feedback with the players, and we will talk about that here in a second. And they listened to their players, just like what Bayonetta and Devil May Cry devs said before. Listen to your gamers. They also said, the devs said, it was once you come out with a game, half of it is owned by the players. Once you create an IP, it's owned by the players, the fans. It's no longer just yours. You have to share that ownership with the players because you shared them a product. It's an art. It's not buying a car. It's an art form. It's a world that you share, that they get immersed in, that they feel invested in. And you respect the original IP that came along when you make new ones. And now you have to respect the players. And that's exactly what it seems like the Lords of the Fallen devs are doing here as we continue. Earlier this year, CI Games conducted a major community poll asking players whether they prefer traditional gender character creation, male and female, or the newer body type AB system the game launched with in 2023. The results were overwhelming. 88% favored male-female. Zelinski promised to respect the results, and he delivered, retroactively updating Lords of the Fallen back in January to remove the original system and revert to traditional gender options. And yes, one thing I'll mention is that a lot of games are coming out with that. And there are mods out there, for example, like Starfield. Starfield has type AB, and people tried to put male-female. Elden Ring was another one that had type AB, and people tried to mod it with male-female. Those mods were banned by Nexus, and there are mod sites, as well as my own Discord, that try to preserve these mods because it is an art. You may not like it, you may not agree with it, but it's a modification to a game that's an art form. And people should be allowed to have that art form. So, continuing on. Shortly after, another poll was asked again if lead video game characters should be widely considered attractive or aspirational. Once again, the results were decisive as 84.4% yes. CI Games responded with improvements to its character creator, enhancing the visual appeal and aspirational design of the characters going forward. These weren't hollow promises. The recent 2.0 update granted the definitive edition of the game, introducing sweeping enhancements, smoother combat, shared progress, crossplay, co-op, UI and HUD improvements, and a new in-game guidebook, a dedicated jump button, and a free friends pass allowing users to invite friends to play without owning the game. That's actually pretty cool. I won't lie. I mean, I wish my face could make the emotion things, because you would actually see my eye direction going pretty wide right now, because I'm pretty impressed. Because it's like giving the customer a taste. Like when you have a customer that bought the game and he shares it with his friends, it's giving them a taste to make them want to get the game themselves. I like that idea. Right? Get them hooked. While the larger studios lean into identity first marketing and corporate jargon, CI Games is listening to the actual target audience, and it's working. Just a comparison, Assassin's Creed Shadows, a AAA mega release backed by a massive budget, pulling in 1,200 to 1,400 concurrent players on Steam just a month after release. Trading against Vanguard peaked at 2,000 players in the last 24 hours, despite releasing at the end of October and being part of one of gaming's most iconic RPG franchises. Meanwhile, Lords of the Fallen, a AA title from a mid-sized studio, is sitting comfortably at 10K plus players and climbing the global sales charts. YouTuber realized it and supports the entire world movement wants this game to fail and die because it's given players what they want and it's glorious. Lords of the Fallen 2 has done the impossible and reached the top 10 global Steam bestsellers list almost 2 years after release. Former Warcraft team lead Mark Runs echoed the sentiment. 2-year-old AA Lords of the Fallen breaks 10K players today, he said. Freshly launched quadruple A game AC Shadows with hundreds of millions of dollars in the marketing and devs sits at just 1,500. This is the power of listening to gamers' feedback. And yes, listen to your customers. Listen to people that actually bought your game, who's consuming your content. Zelinski himself, following his removal from the original Lords of the Fallen subreddit over his public support of Gamers First, responded with confidence. Truth always wins in the end. Yes, I keep saying this. Trust is built for authenticity and transparency, not by shifting narratives. Players first. CI Games has since launched a new officially supported subreddit, the Lords of the Fallen, where the community is thriving. Banned users from previous subreddit have flocked to the new space, grateful for a place to share feedback and enthusiasm without political gatekeeping. One user came in 1982, said, I was banned from the other server for daring to have an opinion about the state of the other subreddit and with the overwhelming majority of what the community wants. So yes, this is all just a post to say thank you guys. In a time where major studios seems more interested in pushing agendas that make great games, then making great games, CI Games is showing that putting the audience first still matters. Listening to the community, acting on feedback, prioritizing fun and immersion is a simple formula, and it works. Yes, and I agree. But what about you, player? Have you bought Lords of Fallen? What do you think of player-first initiative focus for game companies? Do you think games should revert back to player first, or do you think are you happy with the luck you have and being treated like a golden goose, waiting for the farmer to open you up and find out you don't have any golden eggs inside? Put your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, happy gaming.
Worlds clash in endless collision. Gaming news with a fierce precision. With a spark so wild it breaks the norm. In the tempest eye, a cyberstorm. Reclaim gaming and dragon cast. Fire breathing wide, screaming loud. Lavistro's here to shake the crowd.